Welcome, everybody, to the Table Rush Talk Show. For this episode and interview, I sit down with retail sales expert Janine Mix. Janine has been teaching retail boutique owners, I'm babbling, or more specifically, their staff, how to sell more effectively. She's been in the business for 25 years. She's very good at it. We go deep on the three types of customer, the lion, the rabbit, and the turtle, and how you can take those principles and apply them to your business now and more effectively sell, whether you're online, you're brick and mortar, whether you're retail, no matter what you sell, her principles can help you. And then we go deep into a pivot. She's pivoting to a new customer, a new niche, shall we say, Christian female entrepreneurs, and how she can help them build their bank accounts without cutting up their lattes and their credit cards, or how does she say it, without cutting up their credit cards or their coffees. Anyway, it's a great interview. Janine is super smart, super savvy. There's a ton to be learned. Enjoy this interview. You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Misha Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy. We are live, Table Rush Talk Show with Janine Mix. I'll be right there. Yay!
Yay!
Coming into the screen.
In paradise?
In paradise. Mastermind in paradise.
Yes!
Here we are.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, welcome to the Table Rush Talk Show live. Mastermind in paradise. Xcaret, Mexico, which is technically Cancun.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Loving the weather and the blue water.
The blue water.
Oh, I did not anticipate that. Did you have the iguanas yet?
No.
There were like 3 iguanas just came out.
What?
It was crazy. Freaked me out on the
Yeah.
beach, but it was really cool.
Nice. My favorite is how like the parrots just fly around, or these exotic birds will just
Yeah.
right
it's
go
really
right by
beautiful.
you. Yeah, so a ton of fun, and obviously we're getting to hang out with Russell Brunson, Pedro Ladeo. Can we remember the lady's name? Kristen.
She was amazing. I think it was Kristen Williams was her name.
She was so good.
Allison Price.
Allison Price.
Gosh.
Wilder. What's Wilder's first name? Eileen Wilder.
Yes. Yeah, the panel was awesome.
The
too.
panel was awesome. Yeah, it's good. And then the funnest thing about this is that a lot of people in our space, in this internet marketing world, in this sort of ClickFunnels arena, people of note are mingling with us.
Yeah.
So the next thing you know, you can be having a powerful, impactful, empowering conversation with someone who's really smart and super successful.
Yeah. Immediately after, I sat down with Pedro.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is happening, you know? But I love that community for this reason. Like, people are very down to earth no matter what level they're at. You know, there's people making 10 million plus, like, in one funnel. Like,
yes.
You know, and they get to be present with us here in this moment. And everybody's been really genuine and really cool. Even, like, Inner Circle, it's just been really cool.
Yeah, and super supportive. And
yeah.
They'll meet you where you're at and kind of, if they're a lot of farther than you, like, encourage you, give you some good nuggets. And
gold.
It's gold. We had a chance to meet September 2021 Funnel Hacking Live, which was awesome.
And you were amazing. We were just like walking down, and all of a sudden I'm eating lunch with you and all your friends, and you guys really inspired me to join the program too, because I was like, man, if this is the kind of people, this genuine and welcoming, like that was what I really needed. I needed that community, so that was really fun.
Yeah, the community is so good. It's such a good community.
It is.
Yeah, and then you were up to some really cool stuff there. You sort of, your gift at that time was empowering retail like clothing boutique owners or store owners and training their their staff on how to sell,
Yeah.
right? How to
Yeah.
sell. Yeah.
Do you remember I was teaching you the lion, rabbit, and the turtle?
Tell me what that was
So
again.
good.
Okay.
So like I teach the 3 types of shoppers, and
Oh,
you're
yes.
either a lion, a rabbit, or turtle. Yeah, and that's what I teach retailers, and I have a program for that. And you know, ultimately, I'm trying to make a better experience for the consumer walking in, because most of the time you get the same like, "Hi, how are you? Can I help you find thing? Okay, if not, let me know. I'm here."
Yeah.
It's just very repetitive and doesn't really treat each shopper like their own. So yeah, that was the funnel that I was doing, and I've been working in retail over 25 years, and it was my jam and my love, and yeah.
Yeah, tell us quick. Lion, rabbit, turtle, because
Okay.
it totally
It's so
resonated,
good. I
and it's the
know.
best thing.
I know, it's so good. I'm like, I need to like do an adaptation of this program just for like sales and like understanding humans anyways. And it's obviously we're humans, we are much more intricate than these 3 things. But this is a really quick way to understand who's in front of you in order to make them feel comfortable with you, right? Because ultimately, what do you need in order to make a sale? Trust.
Trust, yes.
And who do we trust most? A complete stranger or yourself?
Yourself.
Right.
Love it.
So the idea is that you would adapt to the person you're in front of, not mimic, not mock, none of that, but adapt to them, adapt in your energy, your mannerisms, and everything. So there's the lion, the rabbit, and the turtle. The lion is very direct, get to the point. Like, you know, you don't have to really sell a lion. You know, you tell them what's in it for them. They're in.
Yeah.
They're here. Let's go. They don't need the discounts and the this and the like and the swag. Like, I'm a lion, so it's like I don't really need any of that. Just get me where I want to go. Let's go.
Like, get
You
me out
know?
the door, right?
Yeah, and we're very efficient people, so our time is really important to us. So like, if you're sitting down with a client who's a lion and you're just going on for like an hour before getting to the point of how you can help them, they're already gone.
Yes.
You know, so lion is very direct. So ask one question, they'll ask a question, give one answer. Don't like go on this whole thing. So that's kind of the lion personality. The rabbit is super friendly and social. The rabbit, like, you end up finding out their whole life story in 5 minutes.
Yes.
You know, and it's
What are
really,
they going to use the outfit for?
Yeah.
And how did they build
Yeah.
to this outfit? And
I joke in the retail world, it's like the rabbit comes into the store, and maybe you're a rabbit, and you're like, "This is me." You come to the store, and they're like, "Hey, how are you? How's your day going?" And they're like, "Oh, it's great. I just went to this coffee shop, and I watched this movie, and I'm having a girls' day, and then it's my birthday in a few weeks, and I'm looking for a dress," and you know everything about them. And then you're like, an hour just went by, and they didn't buy anything, like, right? Because
Yeah.
they're just like really connected in the relationship.
yeah.
So that's the rabbit. And then the last one is the turtle. The turtle is very kind of timid, analytical, and so like the process is a little bit slower for the turtle, right? Just
Yeah.
in real life, all these animal examples have different physical ways that they move. So in the retail environment, or maybe it's in the retail environment, a turtle will walk in and you say hi, and they're like, "Hi."
Yeah.
But they really need some time and space to understand the environment, and they need they need to be able to like take inventory. What's around me, and maybe they won't make that sale right away. So in our world, in like the ClickFunnels world, that's gonna be the person that like comes on the email sequence, right?
Yes.
Because they're like really analyzing, researching who you are. Like, they're really into data. They're data driven, and they need all of these elements to then make that decision.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 personalities that I type, or that I teach. But you can be, I say, you can be a labbit. You can be a little bit of a lion rabbit,
yeah.
and you can be a turtle, a little bit of a rabbit turtle, but you can never be a lion turtle. You know. Now, all of them make decisions. All of them have purchasing power. All of them have unique abilities. None are bad or wrong or better or worse. It's just our job as salespeople to be able to adapt to them, like, so that they feel comfortable. I've given them the information in the way that they need it and want to process it to make the best decision for themselves.
I love it. So as a retailer or a store owner, or if you want to take this information to your funnel or your expert business or your online business, it's like if the turtle walks in, how soon can you identify that so you can give them the space
Yes.
to look around
Yeah.
and take it in and and then work their way to you with their questions or what have you, right?
Yeah.
Versus the lion, they're like, "Help me now," and you're like,
Yeah.
"Here's what you want. Buy this,
Yeah.
this. Have
Yeah.
a good day."
And you adapt everything. I don't know if you picked it up, but even as I described each of the personalities,
Yeah.
I changed my tone, I changed the speed. You adapt. It becomes second nature to me. I've been teaching this for a long
Yes.
time, but when I was talking about the lion, it's very direct. Get to the point. This is the lion.
Yeah.
Right? When I talk about the rabbit, I got really excitable, and I'm talking, and I have a higher voice, and I make more excitable,
Yeah.
And then as the turtle, I slow down my speech, and, I let them have the time to process that. And it's these small little things that you could do to really, like, make them feel comfortable so they're not overwhelmed. They're not like, who is this person? I don't know you. It's really to build that trust and make them feel at home.
I love that.
Yeah.
I saw that, now that you pointed that out, I just saw the arc of the emotions or whatever, or the intensity or expressiveness. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we were chatting earlier, before we went in and got to see Russell and all the power presentations and fun. You're like, I'm kind of had this pivot moment. So tell us about that, and I think it's interesting. You're like, how can I bring this rabbit, turtle, lion into the new space? So you like a massive pivot too. So tell us what's happening.
Yeah, so I've been working with brick and mortar retailers to build their business to a 6 to 7 figure business, and build a more profitable and fulfilling business for brick and mortar. That's what I've been doing I just hit my 5-year anniversary in my coaching business, but I've been doing this for 25 years. So this is what I've been doing. But deep down inside, I also knew there was this other element of getting into more financial education, empowerment, and mindset shifts around making money, sales. Because, right, like, even in sales, which is what I've been teaching for a long time, even in sales, you struggle with, like, I don't want to be pushy and salesy and this and that, and I don't want to charge what I'm worth. And, like, there's a lot of limited beliefs.
A lot of limiting beliefs.
And I can help a retailer with all the tools, but what I realize is people have this money story. People have a money story that they grew up with that they are stuck in. And I want to rewrite that money story. I want to do that so that you can have an abundance in your business, impact people. Money isn't the goal, it's a tool. But it is a tool that can create amazing opportunities and can impact. It can get you the trips, you want to travel with your family. It can pay for some medical things. It's just a tool. And I believe there's an infinite amount of this tool. And I have more of an abundance versus scarcity mindset around it. And so I wanted to kind of pivot into more of that market. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, which is funny because in September, right, it was like, I'm retail. And then I'm like, but I knew there was something like a gentle whisper. I read this book called The Big Leap. And it's like, there is a gentle whisper telling me that there's something different. There's something different I'm supposed to do with this. There's something I'm supposed to do with the lion, rabbit, and the turtle that is outside of the retail space. And so that's where I'm exploring right now. And like, here I am with this different perspective coming into this mastermind in paradise, finally for the first time saying, like, this is it. This is what I do. So my pitch would be, I help Christian female entrepreneurs build their business and bank account without cutting up your credit cards or your coffees.
I love it.
That's where I'm at.
So good. That's fantastic. And that's quite a shift.
It is, yeah.
And it sounds easy, perhaps, or let's dig in a little bit to the how psychically. I mean, has there been sleepless nights? Has there been pulling your hair out, or fear of what I know? You've had a certain amount of financial success, and you've been doing this for a long time, and so to a massive pivot like that. Tell me the top 1, 2, 3 fears or stumbling points.
I think my biggest fear in pivoting my niche is that I would be letting down the retailers I've been working with. And that still hire me. I still work with higher level, higher ticket retailers. And I was so worried that they would feel like I had a membership. I felt like they would feel like I'm abandoning them. And then I started thinking, like, well, that's just crazy because I'm meant to impact more people and I need to walk in my truth and and that's going to attract. And you know what's interesting is, so I ended my membership because I'm pivoting, and I ended my membership and I wrote this letter and I cried and I rewrote it. And I mean, I sat and dwelled on this email for a long time. And I finally just hit send. And do you know what the reply was? We are so excited for you. I can't wait to follow you on the next thing. You're amazing. I'm super bummed. You've been super helpful, but I can't wait. Like, nothing came back. Like, so my biggest fear of, like, they're going to be disappointed, they're going to be upset. And here I am, thinking about what other people think versus what I know my soul wants to do.
Yeah.
all of that for nothing. Years of that, actually, of that battle. Oh my gosh, what should I do? Should I pivot? When should I pivot? Is now a good time? And then a pandemic comes, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, now's not a good time to ditch retailers. Like, no, I want to help them through this. And I'm so glad that I served during that time. There's a reason for timing in your life. That would be another thing, like another point is like, but yeah, so that was for me a big moment when I just got, overwhelmed with what would other people think when I do this. Well, it turns out they're really excited for me, and they see it, and they see something in me that I know is there, and that was really affirming.
Empowering too.
Yeah.
I was just thinking how empowering. Our biggest fear
Yeah.
oftentimes can be the most empowering, or provide the most.
Yeah.
Lean into that, and that's where the magic can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
as you're saying that.
I would say the second hardest
Yeah.
thing about this pivot is trying, and we talked about this morning, is trying to like have the plan figured out already.
Yep.
Like, okay, I'm gonna pivot, but when I pivot, I need to know every step that I'm doing. I've got to know the full path, the full trail, because I'm the kind of person that like, tell me what it is, or if I'm gonna fork in the road, I'm gonna go right, and I'm gonna go all in right, but I need to know like what's that, and what does that look like, and what's the program, and what I have to know all these details, but then
Yeah.
we just get overwhelmed, and then we don't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing I've had to let go too in this pivot is like, I don't need to know the full trail. I just need to take the first step. I can see the staircase, right? And it's a few steps, and that's it. And if I just take a step into that, if I just start sharing my heart more, doing something like this, and
Yes.
talking about the journey and being more open about it,
Yes.
that's all I have to do. That is what I'm supposed to do right now, so that I can start blazing the trail. But I don't
love
need
it.
to know the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing,
Yeah, I love that. I've almost started thinking for myself, if I can see where it's headed, don't go that direction. Like lean into the unknown
Yeah.
and the uncertainty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I love that concept. Kyle Cease, I don't know if you ever follow Kyle Cease, but he likens it to Kyle Cease. If you're watching this, Kyle was so influential in my life. I just want to thank you. Yeah, like he helped me. Kyle helped me at one of those points you're talking about. I was stuck in my mortgage career. I was a home loan officer, and everything that I was good at in that career overnight became psychically so painful for me. And I was like, I need to know the next career. I need to right, you were talking about, I need to see the trail or the map, and I just needed to take the leap. And so Kyle was very helpful with that, and he likens it to a GPS, right? Like the GPS, you just follow the GPS. It gives you the next turn. It can be foggy, dark, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just see enough to keep pressing forward.
Yeah.
So I love that thought.
Yeah, and I think that people also sit and wait for motivation. We talked about that too. Like, I need to feel motivated, and I don't feel motivated enough, and like, I don't know. Well, one, maybe their motivation to be the thing that moves you, like some deep voice from God saying do this, or affirmation from your friends, or even our peers, like, you should be doing this. Like, we wait for that moment to find some motivation for us to take that step. But motivation, half of that word is mobile. Like, you need to have movement in order to find that motivation. So taking that step, trying that, just saying out loud to some people, like saying out loud, like, hey, this is what I'm doing now. Whoa, okay, it's getting clearer every time you get that clarity. Russell talks about publish. Publish when you're not ready. Just keep talking about it, keep sharing, because your clarity comes from that. Your motivation comes from taking the step. It doesn't just like come to you in some like deep meditation. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
It just gotta do it.
Gotta do it. And we were talking earlier about how engaging in that conversation. So what's great about this mastermind is there's that what you do or what are you up to is the lead question from everybody. So that's what lights me up. That's what fires me up. And then to get the feedback from people being like, this is it. It's so empowering and so good, right?
When people were like, I was at dinner last night talking about it, and they were like, you get fired up. I'm like, that's when you know you're walking towards what you should be doing. But I'm not going to get that like affirmation or any of that if I'm just sitting in my head wondering, when is it? What's the path? Oh, I need motivation. You know, like I'm not going to get that. I get it by speaking into it, by stepping into it. That's how you start getting the clarity.
Yeah.
Oh man, clarity can be just a total stop you dead in your tracks, right?
You so can. Yeah, messy action. I'm all about messy action. I talk about that a lot, and I try to take it and lead by example. Take that messy action, lead by an example. Set up the microphone at a hotel in Mexico with amazing people. Not overthink it. Just go. I'm intrigued by the Christian woman. Like, this is brand new to me, so inspiration for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my inspiration comes from, as an entrepreneur on this entrepreneurial journey, I'm wanting to go to my core, like, you know, community, my church, and say, hey, what resources are there available to me? Because I want to know how to be a good steward of my business and of my money. Yeah. And what is there here for me? And, you know, in church they have young adults groups, they have pre-marriage, they have marriage, they have divorce care, they have, you know, in your 60s Bible studies, but they have nothing for entrepreneurship and nothing on like how to make money and build that into your mission, right? And I felt that lack. And this is gonna maybe rub some people the wrong way, but you know, going against the grain is kind of what I'm used to. But the advice that I was also getting was like, no debt, pay in cash, envelopes, but like I also knew a lot of people that were investing in real estate, and my husband and I do that, and we've been able to use debt in order to build wealth. We've been able to use, I was 6 figures in debt, and now I'm a 7-figure entrepreneur. That didn't come by cutting out coffees and cutting up my credit cards. And that always frustrated me, that this is the advice I'm getting. Like, there's books literally written on this by men to women. And honestly, there's a guilt and a shame around money that doesn't need to be there. I'd like to see a book on like men for investing that are like, it's cool, just cut out your beer and your golf memberships and you'll become wealthy. Like, says no book ever. So why do we have these things for women?
That's amazing. Oh my God, thank you for that.
And so I got frustrated. Honestly, I'm frustrated. And I know that there's people out there that know that there's a different way. I'm not saying that some of the things that are out there aren't bad. I'm not saying that, like, go get in credit card debt and be done with your money. What I'm saying is that there is a different way. And there is a way for me. I did not want my life to suck for the next 30 years until I paid off my debt. I couldn't travel, couldn't do anything. I got to go down to one car, like all that. I didn't want to live a life that sucked before I could actually live. Because I'm not promised tomorrow. And I knew by seeing all these entrepreneurs that there was a different way. And when I look at the Christian world, we just don't have that. We don't have that example in church. We don't have the resources. There's no Bible studies. I'm like just really struggling with that. So that's what I'm hoping to meet. I'm hoping to build that community. I'm hoping to build those conversations and be a place where women could go to that are like, yes, I don't have to feel this guilt, you know, around this. Yes, making money is fine. And honestly, we should be the best stewards of that money anyways.
I love it. Tell me, go on.
God is literally like giving us this resource. He's the source of all the resources.
Yeah.
Wouldn't his people be the best hands for that? Versus there's a lot of corruption and greed and it does a lot of really bad things, but not in God's people, right? If your heart is right. And I think there's a lot of like misconceptions around. My husband wrote a book and it's called What the Bible Actually Says About Money. Okay. Because there's a lot of things that get thrown out there, like, you know, it's easier to get to heaven through the eye of a needle, or, you know, like that whole verse. Or, you know, money is evil. Well, no, it's the love of money. And then if you actually go into the original form of like what is it talking about in the Bible, that love portion, what that means, it's the greed. Again, it's addressing greed. It's not saying you shouldn't make money. It's not saying that it's bad. And I think too, my husband and I always, in our church communities, it's like revered as like that's the end all be all sacrifice to God. But what about the people who support the church and who are out innovating, creating, and building? What about them? There's a place for us. We just have a different calling on our life. We're anointed for business, not for mission, and that's okay. You know, there are different spiritual gifts. There are different callings in people's life, and I just never felt like I had permission. So, little plug, but I have a new podcast coming out, and it's going to be Permission to Launch. It's the permission.
I love it.
Yeah.
Permission to launch. Look at it. I'll put if you don't have it yet, at some point we'll have that in the show notes. Permission to launch. The Permission to Launch podcast with Janine Mix.
With me.
Bam!
Yes.
What?
It's like, it's the permission we didn't realize we needed. It's the permission, like, you don't actually need it, but you need to hear it. You need to hear that it's okay to build and to create and innovate and fail and succeed, and like all of that is okay, and it's all part of God's plan for you. So that is where I'm moving. That's my heart. Can you tell? It's like a total different passion.
Good. Bam! You're like, yeah. And I think, what's beautiful about that is you have clearly so many gifts on the retail sales side of things, but to be able to bring that to the women that you're helping, or in your own message to help build that culture, that cult culture that we're a part of here. I love that. So good. I'm so excited. So Pedro, you were rapping with Pedro. Tell me, what was the nugget you got from Pedro? And by the way, Pedro Adeo, go check him out. Pedro Adeo. If you're watching, Pedro, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, what's up? The challenge guy, I like to call him the challenge king. He should challenge king, whatever the challenge. Yeah, right? Like he's in this.
He always talks about like we're kings and queens of the kingdom.
Yeah.
And what the kingdom means, and it's really a cool thing. You should check out his podcast too. It's really good.
Cool. I will, absolutely. But anyone want to get involved in challenges should check out Pedro. So you were rapping with Pedro live, one-on-one. That's insane. That's like, people
pay a lot. He gave me his phone number.
What?
And I was like, what? No, actually, I just joined him in something. I get to be at his house next week.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm really excited. What's so cool is you can have these people on the stage. They come and talk with you. Like, I mean, people are people. There's no, like, celebrity status here, no matter how much money people are making. I do love that about this community, and really it shouldn't matter, right? We are people.
We are.
And
I love
we're all serving each other, and we can all offer something to each other, and this connection, and it's just incredible here. Honestly, I wish I would have gotten in this community a lot sooner, but
just let me say something. Yeah, I've gotten so many chills throughout this conversation, but one of the funnest things for me here is how we get to inspire people. The feedback that comes back to us of like, I can feel down. What am I doing? I'm just stumbling along, slogging through mud. What is going on? And someone will come around the corner and just be like, oh my gosh, you've inspired me so much. Or how'd you do this? Can you help me with that? And so to be able to give, it's the flow. It's so good. Yeah. So, okay. So you're sitting with, go ahead.
Just talking to him. I ran my first challenge for retailers back in December. And so I wanted to update him on that. Like, I didn't have that many people join, but I made 20 grand from it. I had 30 people sign up. It was a paid challenge. So I paid for my ad spend, made a little bit of money on that, had a couple of people buy my program, and then I ended up booking a high ticket client from it. And I was like, conversion wise, I didn't have like thousands of people in my challenge, but I had enough to do that, and that's amazing, and so we kind of talk about that. And honestly, he's in a realm that I'm wanting to pivot in. And so I think it was more conversation around that. He's challenging me. I really work with businesses. I've worked with businesses for a long time, and he's sort of challenging me to maybe bring in some of my real estate. My husband and I have been doing real estate for 11 years, and we have 14 furnished rentals and multiple properties, but I really love Airbnb, and I get a lot of people. I have a boxer I haven't listened to, but it's like, should I buy this house? I'm thinking about doing an Airbnb, and so he's kind of challenging me to be like, what's the next stage of this money journey for women? Is it just in business? Is it here? So we riffed on that a little bit, and he challenged me a little bit, and also just, I want to speak on stages. Like, stages are a huge passion of mine, and he said, the thing that gets you to the stages is winning, is mastering your funnel, winning, because and getting to that story, right? Because everybody has a suffer journey. Everybody went from like, I had nothing, and this is all I had, and I went all in, and they had this journey. And so he's like, that's what's going to get you to the stage. So focus on your journey. Focus on taking this step, like we've been talking about. Focus on taking this step towards this thing, so that you can build that, succeed, and that's what's going to get people to be like, hey, come share your story. Come tell us about it. It's not just necessarily like, I want to be a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
It's really like that. So he's challenging me a bit.
Good.
For sure. Helping me work on a book, and Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
I know.
Oh my
Who
gosh.
knew? If you would have asked me 3 days ago that I'd be sitting with Pedro and like next week I'll be at his house, I would like only at Mastermind in Paradise.
Only at Mastermind in Paradise. So good.
Yeah.
This has been awesome. I'm so excited that we did this. It's been fun. Any last thoughts or any like, how I wished I'd have said this or?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to leave you with something that made me start my business to start with.
Okay.
So when I went from employee to being my own boss, I was actually in an exercise class, okay? And this is what I learned. And hopefully this resonates with someone. If you're feeling like, I know I am meant to do something other than what I'm doing right now. One, you don't need our permission. You just need to do it. But are you in your comfort zone or are you in your war zone? Because those are totally different spaces. If you want change, it's in your war zone. Change does not happen in your comfort zone. So you have to get uncomfortable. So I'm constantly pushing that boundary of like, even in your own business, if you're like, I'm doing pretty good. At the height of my consulting for retail business, I was like, I'm doing pretty good. And I got comfortable in my comfort zone. And if I could have gotten to that next point, I would have been across that stage. But I just was like, I'm comfortable, I'm good. But it's all about getting uncomfortable and accepting that. And also fear, let fear fuel you. It is a part of the process. When you realize that fear is necessary, it's a necessary part of our journey. It also does help us not get hit by a car.
Yes.
But it is a necessary part of the journey, but don't ever let fear be in the driver's seat. You know, let it be there. I see you. Hey, what's up? But I'm in the driver's seat. We're going to go. I know you're supposed to protect me, but don't let fear stop you. Let it fuel you and get out of your comfort zone.
So good. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that in myself.
Same.
And anybody wants to jump on your journey, where can they find you on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram's where I hang out the most, so come and find me, Janine Mix. You can find me there.
Janine
Come
Mix.
hang out.
Love it. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Everybody, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.